Leela Thompson is beautiful, funny, and a smart 19-year-old young woman in her second year of studies at the University of the West Indies, pursuing a degree in business communications. She comes from a very close-knit family and is the wash belly for her parents, who have 3 other children. Unfortunately, her mother died of cancer 4 years ago. Leela and her father enjoy an exceptionally good relationship, and she is the textbook definition of a daddy's girl. Leela is immensely popular, and she has a personality that is very welcoming. She's been described as one who will literally give you the clothes off her back. Leela has 2 best friends. She spends most of her free time with them, and they have known each other since they were in pre-K. Both friends also attend the UWI, although Selena is in the Faculty of Law and Marcus is studying hotel management. This did not stop them from being in constant communication, as they have synced their timetables so they can spend lunchtime together every day. They even share a WhatsApp group so they could keep track of each other every single day. Leela had one boyfriend all throughout high school, but they decided to go their separate ways when they both started university, as they did not think their relationship would survive college.
Andre Gordon, who is popularly known as Dre to his friends, is a recent immigrant to Jamaica who came to Jamaica with his parents from the United States of America because his father's company opened a new hotel in Jamaica and his father was chosen to oversee the hotel. He is currently in hotel management as he wishes to follow in his father's footsteps. Dre is very well mannered, quiet, and spends most of his free time at home with his parents and older brothers playing his PS5. One day, Dre was chilling at home and scrolling through his Instagram when he saw Marcus, Leela's best friend, and his classmate post a story of Leela as his woman crush Wednesday. Andre clicked on Leela's profile, which was open, and he liked what he saw, so he decided to send her a direct message. Soon the two were 2 peas in a pod as Leela moves in with him, but Dre has a dark side to him that Leela did not see when they first met. Months passed, and what seemed like a happy couple soon turned into a nightmare for Leela. Even as a university student, Leila knows she needs help, but she is unsure what type of help to get and how to get it.
The Oxford Dictionary defines domestic violence as violent or aggressive behavior within the home, typically involving the violent abuse of a spouse or partner. It includes intimate partner violence, child abuse, elder abuse, or abuse by any member of a household. It affects people of all age groups and thousands of people in Jamaica and across the world.
Statistics in Jamaica show that women who had entered into a living partner relationship at an early age had a higher prevalence of lifetime intimate partner physical violence, 45% compared with 24.5% for those who had entered into such relationships at age 19 years and older. Respondents who had cohabited at a younger age also had a higher rate of current physical abuse, at 16% as against 5.9% nationally.
It doesn't matter your social or economic background, rich or poor.
It didn't matter if you are educated or uneducated. 19.3% of women with the highest levels of education have been the victims of intimate partner physical violence at some point in their lives.
1 in 4 women and 1 in 10 men experience intimate partner violence. Violence may take various forms, such as physical, emotional, sexual, or psychological. A West Indian Medical Journal self-report questionnaire administered to 3,124 students who were 1,467 boys and 1,657 girls from 34 randomly selected high schools in Jamaica showed that 78.5% of the students had witnessed violence in their communities, 60.8% in their schools, and 44.7% in their homes.
Alongside COVID 19, the United Nations has described the worldwide increase in domestic abuse as a shadow pandemic. It is estimated that there has been an increase in domestic abuse by 20% during the lockdown, as many people are trapped in their homes with their abuser.
For the purpose of our audience, Ms. Crawford, can you tell me a little bit about your organization, E4Life?
Okay, thank you so much for coming, and thank you for having an interest in the conversation around such a very vital topic. E4Life, we are 13 years old in Jamaica. I'm one of the co-founders, and we like to describe ourselves as a world-renowned advocacy organization for the rights and the well-being of girls, in particular in Jamaica, who are most vulnerable. We provide services, psychosocial services, we provide mentorship, we provide networking. But really and truly for us, we think that we have started a movement where we invest in the girl who is a teen mom, or she may be a girl who's living with HIV, oftentimes as a result of rape and incest. A girl who is a survivor of child sexual violence in our country. And we believe that none of these girls would have lost their potential for greatness. So our role is just to facilitate the kind of environment, the kind of programs, the kind of advocacy that will help them to take their rightful place back. So we are very much at the forefront of sexual and reproductive health. We have partnerships with the Ministry of Health, Education, other civil society organizations, and the international partners.
What age group the girls you're talking about?
So our target population is in 3 sections, but for the one that we would refer to today, you're looking at age 12 to 30.
12 to 30. Okay, all right, thank you. Or do you think persons living with HIV/AIDS are more prone to experience domestic violence?
Okay, so when it comes to domestic violence and HIV, it is both a cause and a consequence.
Okay.
So the cause, when a woman or a girl is in a position of lack of power and cannot negotiate condom use, or may have experienced rape or other sexual abuse, and they don't have the power to protect themselves from sexually transmitted infection, then you will find that you will have a rise in HIV in the female population. And in particular, in our case, I would want to think that over 95% of my clients who are adolescent girls, young women living with HIV, would have received or have had transmission through sex and sexual violation. The smaller portion would have been born with HIV. So from that perspective, unprotected, unwanted, unsolicited sex can result in HIV. And therefore that's a part of the violence. In terms of the other part of it, so that's a consequence. Now the cause is the girl or the woman who is living with HIV who cannot disclose her status to her partner because of fear of violence. They can't share their status for supporting families because of stigma and discrimination, again can experience violence in communities. So HIV is both a cause and a consequence when it comes to gender-based violence.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. Before we begin, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Nastasia Robinson. I am an attorney at law, and I serve as legal officer at Jamaicans for Justice. Jamaicans for Justice is a non-profit human rights organization, non-profit, non-government human rights organization, and we serve the general public. We have special focuses though, and one of our focus currently is providing legal and other services to women and girls who are victims of gender-based violence.
And what services do you provide for victims of gender-based violence or domestic violence?
Right. So victims of gender-based violence can come to Jamaicans for Justice. We provide legal support. For example, if their abusers or perpetrators have been charged, we provide legal advice to them of what the process will be like. We also attend court with them and watch proceedings on their behalf. In other matters, such as matters arising out of the Domestic Violence Act, we actually attend court and begin proceedings on their behalf, whether it is for maintenance or occupation orders, protection orders, maintenance, all those things that comes under needing protection in terms of domestic violence.
You mentioned the Domestic Violence Act. Could you take us through a little into more detail what protections are available to victims under that act?
Well, the Domestic Violence Act is a very nifty act that allows persons in a household, not just women and girls, but persons generally in a household who are victims of violence, whether it be physical violence or otherwise, to approach the court and say to the court, hey, I'm being abused in such way and I need either protection or I need some kind of protection from my abuser. So what this looks like, it could be a grandmother, it could be a husband or wife situation, it could be a child. Any of those persons who feel that they're being abused can approach the court and they can ask for remedies according to the act.
And what remedies are available under that?
The two remedies that are available under specifically under the Domestic Violence Act are the protection orders and occupation orders. A protection order is an order which is a restraining order, and it says that your abuser cannot come within a certain distance to you, cannot interfere with you in certain types of ways, cannot protect you in that way. They can't go to your house or your job or your school, that sort of thing. It also can extend to your children as well. So if you're a grandmother or the guardian of a child, the protection order can extend to the child to say that abuser cannot go to the school of the child.
And what about occupation order?
And also, an occupation order is an order by the court which says that the victim can remain in the household and the perpetrator, the abuser, will have to go somewhere. So these most often come in husband and wife type situations or intimate partner situations where one partner is being asked to go somewhere else and the victim of the violence is allowed or permitted to stay. With this order comes the possibility of the court saying that the person who is ordered to leave needs to still continue to contribute to bills or pay bills and allow the person remaining in the household to have certain benefits even though they're not within the same household.
That's very useful. What about someone like a partner or a child or a grandparent who feels financially dependent on their abuser? What remedies are available to them?
Within the occupation order, the court can order for maintenance of that child who's financially dependent. But we can also make other applications under the maintenance, the Maintenance Act if it's a child which basically gives the court the power to order that the perpetrator or the abuser pays maintenance to the victim.
If you or someone in your household needs protection, you can apply for a protection order or an occupation order by filling out an application form at the parish or family court within your parish. If you reside in the parishes of Kingston or St. Andrew, you may visit the family court. You do not need a lawyer to do this. To complete the application, you will need to explain the circumstances and reasons for your application in a written affidavit or a letter to the clerk. Once you have completed the application and the accompanying affidavit, the court administrator should assign a date and time for the hearing of the application. They will issue a notice to the alleged abuser along with a copy of the application and the supporting affidavit, and you will both attend court for the hearing, after which an order will be made by the judge.
Domestic violence sees no race, creed, no religion, no age or social status. If you need help, please report to the nearest police station. If you need legal support but cannot afford an attorney at law, please visit the Norman Manley Law School Legal Aid Clinic.
Yes,